Hey guys.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Hey everyone, my pleasure to be here again. So yeah, we are doing MIS again.
We had a little hiatus, Kushti. A lot of us were too busy.
Yeah. I believe everyone.
For sure. So, a lot of exciting things happening in Ergo this week, last week, the week before last, so that if you didn't pay attention in chats, you missed. I know I was absent a lot in chats. Very busy end of the semester for me, but that doesn't stop Ergo. It kind of keeps on trucking. That's a funny thing about it. I do feel like I've missed a lot of stuff, and I need to read up a lot. It doesn't pause when you pause, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, I guess. So Kushti, what's new with you?
Since the last MA, so yeah, have a lot of things. So that's why I'm using the term delivery season, the crypto Twitter and chats. Yeah, well, we started informing miners about 6.0 wording. So, well, depending on their replies, and on a little bit more testing. So I think we can start voting from June 15th or 20th, something like that. Then Subblocks DevNet, public DevNet started, so you may join it and mine. Currently there is one CPU mining seed node, and yeah, well, it's pretty raw, pretty buggy still. So yeah, I'm fixing bugs and I will introduce new versions next week and so on. Then Dexi contracts deployed on the mainnet, and well, UI is under private testing, so it will be made public after testing done by the private testing group and so on. So well, published some more ideas on the forum, and yeah, well, presented some during a meetup 1 week ago to just general public developers, mostly software developers without much knowledge in cryptocurrency and so on. And yeah, well, the feedback was very positive. So it's about the Git circles idea I've published on the forum just yesterday. So please check it. So the idea is to, well, use ideas from community currencies to make digital community currencies with minting based on basically lines of code contributed to Git repositories of a certain project. Yeah, that's only about things I'm getting involved in, but there are a lot of other things. Are you tracking them, QX? Like
I'm reading your Git circles right now. Like you're talking, I'm reading your forum post.
Yeah, so yeah, there are updates from Rosenbridge, and there is now bounty from
big bounty, 5,000 ergs. Yeah,
handshake folks for handshake integration into Rosen. So yeah, well, it's going. So I think after just one successful integration, third-party integration. So just reviewed and merged by the Rosen team. So yeah, it can be quite a big moment, right? So we'll get a lot of underappreciated assets. Underappreciated by centralized exchanges, especially, right, like proof of work coins, so all of them, basically, because, well, there is fortunately the usual issue for centralized exchanges in regards with insiders allocations and so on in proof of work cryptocurrency, right? So, well, it's hard to get listed. Then on big centralized exchanges, which are asking for, well, allocation. Simply and then for proof of work cryptocurrencies and well, for other tokens with fair or more or less fair distribution. So Rosen would be an answer, right? In the world of completely shady and extractive centralized exchanges industry. All right. Then we have Argo Hack. Maybe it's your turn to talk.
Yeah, and don't forget, Allison came out with that Ergo script CLI compiler as well recently, right?
Yeah, but will you guys do maybe a dev update video on all those things? So actually, yeah, well, a lot of things going on, like also upcoming 5.0.27 release will be quite beneficial for many applications. Using extra indices, and in particular, one feature was requested by the Raffle guys, and the Ergo Raffle version 2 is coming.
Yep.
So the repository already public, and that's quite amazing. So now it will be possible to do crowdfunding campaigns
and comment.
With the rewards and also in different assets, right? So you may raise BTC in the form of RSBTC on the Ergo blockchain.
You can also distribute to different people, I believe, right? More than one person in the end as well.
Yeah. So you may have a lot of raffle winners, right? So then it could be made kind of form of ICO, right? I believe, and well, maybe ICO like a little bit, or maybe something in between of ICO and the lottery, right? If you have like 100 of winners. But yeah, the chance to win is proportional to stake. Then yes, so for some not so big projects, it would be pretty much like ICO, right? Just randomized a bit. But yeah, well, I need to check details of what's going on there. But yeah, well, possibility to raise in different assets is also huge, right? So you may raise in CQSD, for example, or gold assets such as Gluon or Dexi Gold.
Yeah.
Right, and so on.
No, I think the thing I love about Ergo is that there's so many ways to do these ICOs, right? My favorite, honestly, and I'm partial to it, is distributing to miners, right? Release a project token or coin based on minings. And you may say, hey, that's not fair. Not everybody has a GPU. But you can also do a sliding scale release, right? So if somebody has even a weak gaming card, they can point to the pool for a little bit. You could do as the hash goes up, for certain miners, you can have a reduced return on those tokens that are distributed to give more of an even distribution across the board. So it's not worthless for somebody with just like a 30-50 or something like that, or a 30-60. So yeah. So if anybody's interested in doing that, don't forget to reach out to the SIGs pool for that kind of token release, which is a very neat way to do it. If you remember back in the days of Git blocks, they had some of the projects, although they were already released, they had a lot of rewards pumping out through there. That was fun.
Right. And I think that fair distribution is much appreciated these days, right? Especially when there are a lot of news about different so-called blockchain projects got failed because of
Wait, the owner's not supposed to hold 75% of the supply, Kushti, in a single sign wallet? That's not normal.
Yeah, that's the usual story. But also, well, recently a few VC tokens got dead just after basically just after a single dump from VCs, right? Not even team. Sometimes, but VCs, so just I don't know, some early grabbers of value, let's say. The most known example is Mantra DAO, something like that. I don't know what they're doing even, but yeah, it seems in this market, it's quite common now for VCs to dump right on retail to get funds to then obtain even fairly distributed assets, right? Bitcoin, Monero, and even for Ergo. So, I've got reached recently by some funds, willing to get into Ergo. I mean, not those scammers you may see over the Telegram, Victus Capital, but yeah, I mean, some real guys, but. Well, there is need to explain the fair nature of distribution here, right? I mean, so I'm not even sure why they're reaching me, right, and not mining pools, for example, which do have some tokens, maybe. It's a little bit strange. So, more than 16 years after the Bitcoin launch, we still have to educate people, right, about the very basic things, such as importance of fair distribution and the value of hard-earned assets, such as proof of work assets. And then, proof of work distribution is actually, still the best probably known, right, in the space. Then there will be some more updates in regards with Sigma chains, right? So I don't know. Well, I will publish on forum something in coming days. Time to think about Sigma chains development as well, right? Because it's beneficial and it's about getting fairly distributed blockchains and side chains also, right? So Ergo Hack.
Argo Hack.
Yeah, fine.
A lot of cool projects, that's for sure. If you guys have been paying attention, Mark, Ken, and I have one in Code UTXO. That's essentially training. So there are ways, and Mark can explain this better in chat and correct me, at least how the MCPs work versus a RAG or that kind of thing. So what we're doing is we're trying to make it so that anybody has access with kind of free-flowing English language to query and utilize the Ergo blockchain. So essentially you would give this project a wallet or something and say, hey, tell me all the transactions of this in the last X amount of time, or where they came from, or what's in this wallet, or those kind of things. So a host of basic kind of commands that anybody that's a dev could easily probably get it with their own tools or look at Explorer and figure it out. But for a normie, it's a little more difficult. So Mark has built an MCP server, essentially, that does the querying for you. So he can kind of tell it what to do. And the AI will hit that MCP server. The server will then reach out and get the data, bring it back, and then the AI massages and handles it back to you in a nice readable format. So we're working on that. I was away for a couple days.
MCP was evil in Tron. What are you doing? What are you doing, QX? MCP was the evil mastermind in Tron. The Master Computer Protocol was the bad guy in Tron. Okay, so
I wonder if that's why they called it MCP. I wonder if that's why they called it MCP. It makes sense. Does make sense.
Like seriously, you're backing the bad guy in Tron.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry, Dan. Good morning. I love the shirt. We're all wearing Ergo today.
Yeah. It was actually, you know what? The thing about the shirt is I actually really like the shirt. It's actually really like it's good. Like I like the material. It's really like nice cotton. It's not like the 5 cents a shirt crap that you get in China. Maybe this was in China, but anyway, it's nice. It's soft. It's actually a comfortable shirt. The problem with the shirt is that it's gray. And, like if you even remotely think of sweating, it will just like, there's just going to be, it's going to look very, shall I say, not, it's going to look sweaty anyway.
I hear you.
So that's the thing. So wait a second. So you're wearing an Ergo sweater and it's like almost June outside?
It's up here in New York, central New York. We've had like biblical levels of rain, Dan. It's been like 60s and 50s, maybe once in a while up to a 70, but it's been raining every single day for the past 2 months. It's been awful. My backyard is a marsh. You kind of run out and mow when you can. It's awful.
Whose fault is that? You wanted to live in freaking upstate New York, It's just,
I know. It's my fault.
Like, move to Japan. You get you still get a lot of rain, but at least it's warm outside.
That'd be great. That'd be great, Dan.
Yeah, but we are going to get our Tsuyu, which is basically like the wet season, which is going to start probably in about a couple of weeks and is go on for about 2 to 3 weeks. And it's literally every year it happens twice. It happens one in the springtime or like the summertime and once in the fall. And usually lasts 2 weeks. But luckily, during COVID, when you couldn't go anywhere and you actually just wanted to the only place you could go was like outside and spend some time, it rained for a month nonstop. Like literally all of July, it just rained. So, that was not interesting. You look frozen in time. Or am I frozen in time? No, I think, Alex is moving. Can you hear me, Alex?
Yeah, hear you perfectly.
Yeah, there you are. So, I think it's QX who just, he decided to strike a pose. Hold on, let me see. No, it's this way.
So how's it going?
Yeah, like that. It's actually going really cool because, while QX is lost in thought. Oh, there we are. Hey, bottom of my head or top of my head. We still live?
Yeah, and by the way, the stream got announced on the Ergo Chat. If you guys know, now that there is just OnChain Chat, we have it released like a week ago by HQ, and it's quite amazing. You need to try. So it's an unstoppable.
Oh, excellent.
Well,
hopefully
we have now on the Ergo blockchain. I hope it won't overload. You take so sad, but we have garbage cleaning after all, after 4 years. So let's see. So it's actually quite profitable for miners to have some garbage on the blockchain. Let's say some non-financial data. So unlike Bitcoin, where they have another civil war now, just about parameters of one instruction. Yeah, here pretty much it's okay to put non-financial data on the blockchain. So miners, charging for that.
Yeah. Well, actually, from our end, it's getting pretty interesting right now because we are finally deploying. Well, Luca at least started to fully deploy the Winter Protocol, like the whole shebang.
Nice.
So, yeah. So we're really looking forward to kind of making that happen, load testing the thing, and seeing how well how well it holds up.
Oh, Dan, and you've missed some news. So Dexi contracts are deployed on the mainnet, and well, we are now doing private UI testing, and the UI will be made public just after.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, that's definitely something that we need to talk about, because I definitely want to have Dexi on our index, on the Endeavor index that we have. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me ping Andy, see if we can get this fixed. Hang on 1 second.
We have Gleon and Dexi now, and yeah. So the next step is to consider, insurance schemes, right, which we discussed, and so on. So I think, yeah. So for real world assets tokenization, here with federated oracles. And variety of novel stablecoin designs, and programmable money approach, and so on. So yeah, there are a lot of interesting possibilities. So I actually discussing also tokenization with some peers, and it would be good to combine efforts. So yeah, let's catch up.
Oh, there he is.
Oh my gosh. I was cleaning up my apps. I was quitting Spotify, and it just locked my entire computer.
Well, serves you right.
I know.
Alex Chicornoy. Alex, you really look like QX today. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, there we go.
I was really confused.
I'm sorry. What I missed, confused. Dan, did you bestow any wonderful knowledge on everybody while I was gone?
Yeah, I did. And you never know, because now it's a secret. It's gone in the annals of the past. But yeah, well, you know what? I'll tell you, just because I'm a nice guy.
Okay.
And you know what? Yeah, so I'm going to do that. But we're deploying Winter Protocol now, which is really cool.
Hot damn.
Look forward to seeing how that thing holds up.
That's exciting.
Yeah, no, it really is, because we're actually so we started a pilot with Nature's Nectar out of Zambia, and this is literally thousands of beehive owners and producers that are getting onboarded, and we also have others, other producers. Actually, Theo is in Africa right now, in Nigeria and Benin. And so we're talking to cocoa producers over there, and so actually that's going to be like the another big onboarding. So that's also going to bring some traffic, and yeah, all this stuff should be happening on the on the Ergo Winter Protocol side, which will be really interesting to do, and to see how well, first of all, how it works, and also how it works with accompanied with Rosenbridge, just kind of like that whole concert works. Rosenbridge has actually been holding up really, really well. I mean, like really well for what we're doing with Binance Smart Chain, because as you might have heard, we deployed simultaneously on Binance and on Cardano with Rosen. And so that's actually been really like a really great experience. And like any projects building on Ergo right now, if you want to use cross-chain components using Rosen, I mean, that don't have no fear, they'll deliver. And that's not that, and I'm not saying that just because I'm wearing the Rosen t-shirt today, but I'm really liking the like the quality of work that was put into it. I mean, it's real, true Ergo innovation, and I'm really happy that we're being able to utilize that.
I mean, it's a team. They're constantly doing stuff. We just had, I think the only problem we ever ran into in the last 3 months was we had some with Binance. We had some guards that were reporting a wrong gas fee with Binance, since other guards were reporting a different gas fee. So we had to have some consensus there on the gas fee to get that worked out. But, we worked through it.
I remember that, actually. Yeah.
That's it. That's the only issue we've had with Binance since the launch on the guard side, if I recall correctly. But yeah.
Yeah. That was really, that was really the only thing that I can remember that we were kind of trying to figure out, quote unquote. But other than that, it's just been smooth sailing all the way.
Yep.
And I'm actually the thing is, we have all these great ideas, but I mean, we have a solid team, but we're actually, like, I was just talking to my head of development today. We're still really understaffed, So I actually I spoke with Luca about potentially deploying something. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's still like in planning stages, and we don't have the resources right now to deploy it. Well, I mean, we can't prioritize resources right now to deploy it. But essentially, it would actually be a way for like, say, Ergo to be able to join the ecosystem natively. Basically, and I see some questions down there about why we haven't put liquidity on Ergo. And we have explained it before, but I'll explain it again. So for the company that basically minted the token, Westfeld International, they need to stay compliant, right? So because the token had to go through a compliance review, and it actually went through the FSA, and so it's actually on the FSA website right now as a regulated token. It's actually the first regulated utility token that's on the Seychelles FSA website right now, because Palm was literally the first one they did this with. Now, to stay within those regulations, and I know the ethos here, fuck regulations, we're decentralized, we don't care about your stinking, stinking badges. But like, the thing is, after all, we have to run it like a business, right? And we have to think about the participants in our business. We have a decentralized business model, a decentralized business development model, and we have to think about the longevity of that, right? And to really be able to be responsible with it, we have to comply with regulations. I mean, I'm not saying across the board, whatever the man says we do, but we have to stay within reasonable regulations. And so the regulation is that we have to have utility within every single ecosystem that we're in, that Westfeld actually launches in, and Palm officially launches in, for it to stay as a utility token. Because if we don't, then it becomes a security, and if it becomes a security, then the regulations get really, really sticky. And so essentially, what we need to do is we need to deploy staking on Ergo to be able to provide liquidity to Ergo from the official source. So I mean, that's really the main obstacle right now. It's not that we obviously want Ergo, and we want the Ergo ecosystem to be able to natively participate in everything we do, but it's just a matter of resources right now. But it's definitely on our roadmap. So it is going to happen.
That's exciting, Dan.
Was that?
That's so exciting, Dan.
You look excited. You look so excited right now.
I am. Sorry, I drove like 10 hours in the last day or two, so.
Oh, wow.
My excitement is still here, masked behind sagging old man face.
Wow. Well, at least you don't have a hat, cutting off the oxygen right now. I have one, but it's nice and loose on the back. Like, it's actually like this hat here. You never see the back of this hat. But the back of this hat is literally on the last, the last little nudge.
Yep.
Like, because this is a pretty small hat, so it's like literally on the last nudge. So I literally, I got lucky that my head, it wasn't just a slightly bigger, well, like yours, for example. You would never be able to fit this hat.
Probably.
Yeah. So how is Ergo Hack? How was Ergo Hack? Is it still going?
Still going. Still going. Nope. It goes till June 1st. I was going to go over some things.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it was. I just kind of, for some reason, I thought I saw some tweets that it was done. Yeah. So it's
I mentioned the MCP server. You got really scared about that.
Oh yeah, well, master control protocol. It's just, of course, it was the bad guy. It was like the giant talking head. That was the MCP. I mean, what are you thinking? Okay, what are you thinking? Do you even know? Do you even know about the grid? Do you even grid?
Yeah, I do.
God, anyway.
I've seen both movies. Yeah, but so
the second was actually pretty good. I like the second one.
No, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, right. It was pretty good. Like, legacy sequels usually suck, but that one was actually pretty good.
It wasn't too shabby.
Yeah, so what else has been happening with Ergo Hack? Like, what other interesting stuff?
We got some cool things. There's a this was talked about a while ago in this project. We've talked about this in AMAs before, maybe dev updates before, about the possibility of this, mainly with a password manager. But Cypher is doing something like taking your seed phrase, hashing it up with some encryption, and storing it on the blockchain in fragments. So as long as you have access to the chain and a password, you can get all your seed phrases off the blockchain. Now that's a little scary when you think about it, but it's a really cool concept. And I mean, you're trusting the hash, right? You're trusting the encryption. So yeah, there was talk about that in the past, about doing password managers that way, right? Hashing, your passwords into fragments and dropping them out on the chain, and then having one app and one password to pull them from the chain and unlock them, kind of thing, and sync them down. So yeah, that's a really cool idea there. They have I think they have a proof of concept up already as well. There is a new open source miner, GPU miner for Ergo called Cortex. That's in the game here as well. Let's see what else we have. There is Slipkit, which is a toolkit for vouchers redeeming, representing on-chain assets like SigUSD or ERGs, so they can be shared via text, email, print, or QR without reading wallets up front. Now, I love seeing these things that are like, they take other things other than, the general mindset when you look into, when you look at current cryptocurrencies in the top 10 or, top 20, whatever, it's all relies on like fully everybody having a decent device and good internet connection, especially to run their infrastructure, right? Which is not possible for the 70% of the rest of the world. So things like this, where you can pass notes through text messages or QR codes or emails or print little slips of paper, are really kind of what Ergo represents. Anybody running, I won't mention a name, but I'm running a node as part of another project that I'm working on, and I just want to shoot myself in the face. Like, I started out with like 500 gigs, and I keep running out of hard drive space. It just like piles up inconsistently. It's a nightmare. Anyway, so nothing that I've come across is as easy and thoughtful in the case of minimum requirements for participating in the system than Ergo. So Slipkit is really in kind of in that ethos of being able to pass those notes around.
Did you say Slipknot?
I did. Slipkit. I'm tired, Dan. What can I do? I'm already operating my whole life at like 50%, Dan. So when I'm tired, I'm like at 20%.
Yeah, I know. It's anyway.
We got Sigma Quest. That's a game. It's like an AI powered quest where essentially users interact and they pay an erg for each message that they send. The ergs accumulate, and when you solve the puzzle, a winner is granted some of those ergs from the pot. So that's pretty neat to see that. We've got Rust Chain, an AI integrated blockchain, proof of antiquity. So it rewards older hardware to reduce e-waste is their goal. It features an AI system that offers suggestions but leaves all decisions to human users. Is there a website for this? Let me see. No, let's see. No website yet, I don't think. No. But that's pretty neat. What's that, Christy?
Yeah, so need to check all the stuff, Rust chain. So
Yeah.
sounds interesting. I mean, it's first I thought it's about Rust language, but it seems it's about literal Rust, right? So some
you got it. It's about
proof of
literal.
work for hardware which is covered by Rust.
Rust, yes, old hardware. Yeah. Well, they knew how to get your immediate attention, I guess, because maybe it was intentional.
Yeah, so it's funny. Need to check. Yeah.
We've got two more. Pattern, which is on-chain model context registry combined with open source OMAS, orchestrated multi-agent system. It does raw data into kind of structured knowledge in real time. So let's see. They're going to. Oh yeah. So it's essentially to reduce hallucinations with AI with that MCR there. So that's interesting. We got CodeUTXO, what I just went over. That's what Mark, Ken, and I are working on. And then lastly, we have a game of prompts. It's a platform for Ergo and Sellout Technologies. That is who is that? That's is that I can't remember. Sorry, my mind's not working. So it's a creation of game services by designers. They're evaluated by solver bots, implemented by the players. The management of the results and the allocation of prizes are conducted transparently on the Ergo blockchain. So it's really neat to see. I see at least two of these are done by non-devs or beginner devs using AI to help build the project as well. So I think that's really neat that people are doing this and not thinking of, hey, I'm going to use AI and integrate it into my app. Not just that, but they're also saying, I'm going to use AI to build this app along with AI, with something that I wouldn't have been able to do before. So I think that's neat because that hopefully will show people that they can enter other Ergo hacks using AI to help build and code and fill those gaps that they might not know how to do in the first place. But yeah, so it ends in 3 days, right? It ends on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think.
UX,
like that.
Apparently you're being racist because you haven't mentioned Pulse.
I didn't see Pulse. Gosh damn it. Let's see.
Yeah, that's not cool, UX. You should not. You should not be.
I don't see it on my list here. Damn it. Let me scroll up. They maybe a late entry and they didn't get pushed on.
Well, okay, so me and Kushti, well, you screwed up our whole alignment thing with your 1989, 286 freaking 18
such an
turbo
awful person. All right, so Paul
an Ember monochrome monitor trying to
there
get
we
on
go.
this thing.
Yeah, I wonder why that's HQ. That's Pulse. So that's decentralized communication on the blockchain. So that's essentially chat platforms, chat rooms,
Yes,
all that kind of stuff.
While you were doing that, Kushti actually mentioned it. So I mean, we're
racist?
Off the hook. You're not.
HQ called me racist? Wow.
He did.
Yes.
Wow,
so,
HQ.
So Ergo Chat, is Pulse now. So yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah, HQ's been cranking on that.
You can try it. In the wild. It's quite interesting. So now we have unstoppable messaging. So maybe
we do. I wonder if HQ. It'd be nice if HQ would. I don't know if he did or not, but to be truly unstoppable, right? We got to be able to run it on our own machines and interact with the blockchain. So I wonder if HQ is planning to at least put out a simple version that people can run on their machines, and then offer a more robust version on his app.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's possible to do a third-party script, right, which is sending to the same address.
Right. True.
Needed registers content, and then HQ's application will show it as well.
That's very true. Awesome. Yeah, that was cool. I saw it the other day. I haven't tested it out yet. But that's something we've been talking about for years, I think, in the Ergo ecosystem. At one point, we talked about what was it? Amphero messaging, right? It was a similar concept where miners would pick up and clean up the messages after X amount of days, depending on how much erg or token that you put with the box.
Yeah, Actually, there is a question about storage rent, and I've checked Sigma Space statistics just recently, and it's nicely improving. So, in next 30 days, there will be. Let me check Sigma Space.
It's going to be in the next 30 days. It's 24 hours is 22 ergs. In the next 7 days, it's 178 ergs. In the next 30 days, it's 1,500 ergs. Insane.
Check number of tokens also. So I think the tokens can be even more valuable because I've checked. There are a lot of old NFTs which can be put on auctions. Some Cigaros V and so on. So
that is tasty, Christy. Damn.
Yeah. So it's improving nicely. I have to say.
That is great. And that's right now the Sigmanauts are the only mining pool getting them, but there are also independent devs out there snatching them up once they realize that there's a hell of a lot of ergs and tokens out there to claim via storage rent. I got to make a post of this, Kushti, on Twitter. This is great. I know the Sigmanaut mining pool, we it's a little kind of what's it called? Catch-22. We wanna advertise that we do storage rent, and we also want people to come. But how Ergo works with reduced emission fees, we want more and more pools to use it and more devs to do it. So it's kind of a catch-22, a double-edged sword. But I think it deserves to be pushed out here. That look at this, overpayment, extra tokens, and erg that can be collected from storage rent. And the truth is, the more and more pools that do this, the less the individual dev is going to be able to snipe this stuff. So
right.
Because pools can essentially just ignore the dev's transactions and put their own transaction if they win the block. So
that's why storage rent is not bound to mining pub key, for example, right?
So maybe
the idea that miners can prioritize transactions, right?
Christian, I think Mark and Cannon are watching right now from the SIGs pool, but I think it might be time to make a post about this with this kind of forecast in the next month and tag all the main mining pools on Twitter.
Right.
Say, what are you sitting on your hands for, people?
Yeah, in next few weeks, only miners can get quite good bonuses, right? Because of the storage rent. So it's the question why miners are choosing bigger pools, right? So, not Ergo specific pools, but just general pools, which are better in theory, but in practice, I think Sigmanauts pool is providing more value.
Yeah, we still get bonus tokens from the distributions from before. Yep, got a kick-ass dashboard that Mark's made. You can run it locally as well. You got a good community there as well. So it's really win-win to mine with the Sigmanauts mining pool until the hash gets above 50%. Then fuck off.
Oh yeah, but it's the long road still.
Yeah, long road, Christian. Long road for that. So don't forget, guys. I just posted in chat, and I'll make a tweet about it soon too. I made a sign up for the Ergo Meetup in October on Google Docs. For those of you who want to join us for that meetup. We're trying to look at some things to do. We're looking for community feedback. Just like Ergo, this is kind of a community-sourced event. I've been asking Sigmanauts to come up with ideas. I've been asking the public to come up with ideas. But in that forum, you can give suggestions about things you'd like to see. If you'd like to hear talks, we have people like Cheese can come and talk about Lithos, give a presentation there. Get MG Pi down there, have them talk about Palm economy, and maybe LGD, and talk about the Winter Protocol and how that interacts and works with those kind of things. So we're going to have a few talks there as well as eating and drinking and maybe a little exercise, which is needed, I'm sure. So
no exercise. This is Ergo.
Well, it's a hike. It's in the form of a hike, Dan. So we're going to have a fun time, no matter how many people show up. It's going to be fun if it's 50. It's going to be fun if it's 150. It doesn't matter. So we're going to do it. And check for the sign up link in chat. It's pinned. Or else I'll put a tweet about it soon as well, with both the GitHub pull signups as well as the Google form signups. And maybe, just maybe, unless all the shirts get sold out, we might give some things away as well for signing up or showing up or that kind of thing. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
That kind of thing, indeed.
Yeah. All right, we got some questions, and we got 10 minutes left. We might have to go over time.
So we've answered a couple of them. Let's.
Oh, you already read some.
So that storage rank question was from Augustus Kent. The question from Luca: does Nodes work on Harmony OS? Probably because I'm having Harmony OS powered device. So I need to try. But from my experience, all the Android apps can be run without any issues because it's simply Android. So maybe that they have newer versions which are more different from Androids, but I can't say anything about those devices. Like latest Mate series, so maybe they have some more unique operating system. So here you can run any Android application. Just Google Store is not available, so you're using Huawei or just downloading APK. Do you believe there are still crypto cycles, so it is one continuous thing now? So I don't know. I mean, I can provide arguments probably for both. So it's hard to say. Then maybe you can have some strong opinion on that.
All right. So
so do we have crypto cycles? Well, so not really.
I mean, okay. So yes, we do, but it also the more crypto evolves, the more context different cycles have, right? So, like, say for example, if you're talking about like early teens crypto cycles, where just like all of crypto went up, went down, went up, went down, went up, went down, and it just didn't matter what it was, and then you had like some things that would influence, like your Coinbase effect back in the day. Your before that it was like the whole rebranding thing, and every time somebody rebranded, the tokens pumped and whatever. This is back in like 2015, 2014, 2016. And that was because the industry just didn't have like a real identity, I think, as far as more of like I guess business-wise, more mainstream business-wise identity, and it didn't have enough variety of product available. So, if you think about it, I mean, there was a lot of theory back then, right? There was a lot of like, Alex, you were doing research and all these different things back in like whatever 2014, 2016, right? But but these things were not really deployed, right? Not on the scale that they're deployed right now, like DeFi, for example, or all these different things, right? They weren't like, because I remember like one of the things that you were doing were basically this like turnkey blockchain framework.
Yeah. So Scorex, it was
Scorex, Scorex. So I mean, like that was the kind of stuff that was being done back then. So, and that was kind of bleeding edge stuff. So you didn't really have your RWA cycle, your AI cycle, your DeFi cycle, your whatever, right? And so now I think where we're getting into right now is the the actual market and the ecosystem of crypto is big enough for it not to just be like this one giant snowball of things. Although that might also happen, based on economies and whatever, and but mainly I think the more we kind of become and find our identity, the more it's going to be separate cycles for different things or different kind of enclaves within the blockchain ecosystem. And I think the more we develop these things for real world usage and mainstream, the more I guess the more profound these cycles will be. And like I said, it'll be specifically an RWA cycle, because there's all this new technology that just came out for RWA, and because there's all these new real world use cases and actual users coming on and picking up interest for RWAs. Like same thing for AI, right? So all of a sudden, there's going to be like an AI cycle even bigger than there was before, because right now you just kind of have like a little bit like a spit here and a spit there. These are going to be a lot more profound. So, I mean, at least that's what I see right now. That's what's happening, because everybody's just waiting for, it's like, oh, alt season. It's like, well, yeah, we might get it, but it's not going to be forever, right? This thing is not going to be forever, where it's like, okay, well, every 3 years or 4 years or whatever, we get Bitcoin season, we get alt season, then we get bear market, then we get bull market, everything pumps, Bitcoin pumps, and everything pumps, then everything dumps, and just so on and so forth. I also think that it's healthy that we are getting away from that kind of just, like tunnel movement, because it gives, just like in any economy, right? Yeah, you have your macro economy, right? And so if you're in a recession, well, yeah, it's going to be hitting all different sectors, but not everybody's going to be, in pain. There's going to be businesses that are going to be able to survive, or actually going to be able to thrive better than others in different fields. Like there's going to be different fields that are going to be more able to thrive and will thrive more than other fields, even in a recession. So yeah, I think that's what's happening with crypto and with blockchain, and the more we embrace it, I think the more sustainable this whole thing becomes. I think it's healthy.
That sounds interesting. So, but basically, it's about the space getting too diverse, right? To move as a whole.
Well, they got to detach from Bitcoin at a point, though, right? Most of them. So that's
yeah. So
that's the moon essentially right now, and every tide is rising or lowering depending on where the moon is in the sky.
Right. So I'm not much involved in trading. So not trading at all since like 2013. So after the first crash, I've got screwed for like 3 years. So yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, it was kind of a long period of depression. Yeah, in 2014, 15.
Wait, did you keep your assets on an exchange, Kushti?
That's also, yeah, then a lot of them on BTC, because yeah, it was actually hard to make multiple wallets back then.
Oh, gotcha.
Especially as even Bitcoin wallet. Back in those days, you had to compile Bitcoin node, and there was wallets there, but yeah, it was super buggy. So I know a lot of folks lost their Bitcoins simply because of corrupted wallets dot file back in 2012, 13, 14. So yeah. Then yeah. So the first spike, right, and then crash, which is now known as Cycle, was about China, right? So, Chinese retail pumping Bitcoin around autumn 2013. Then, some crackdown happened, and from 1,000, it went down to like 100. Long depression till 2016.
Yeah.
It was.
They used to sell Bitcoin at the same office that we started Cardano out of for like, what was it, about $400 or $500 a Bitcoin. There was a guy that just kept trying. The Japanese guy was trying to sell it because it was like right after Mount Gox. So it was like 2016, maybe late 2015. And I just kept thinking, I'm carrying it. I remember it was 60,000 yen he was selling it for, 60,000 yen, which is right now is about $400. Back then it was about $500. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So when I participated in the Ethereum ICO, so it was about $600. It was 2014. But so it went up and down, but it was no more than 600, if my memory serves me well. So the Ethereum ICO was about local top, and maybe it was caused by the ICO actually. I've forgotten. Then we had the ICO boom, right, and then DeFi boom, and only after that, I've started to see that we necessarily have 4-year cycle, right? But it's hard to say why. I mean, how China and ICOs and DeFi are connected. So. There is needs maybe for some Bitcoin appreciation because of halvings, but that's not explaining the movements which are not about 2x, right? But usually much bigger. So hard to say if cycles were real in the first place, right? So if they are, then I don't know. So maybe we will have cycle or not. So, this time, there is big difference from previous times because before usually it was first Bitcoin pumped up by retail, and then altcoins started to pump, right? So like Litecoin back in 2013, and then some other altcoins such as Peercoin and so on. But it was Bitcoin first, then Litecoin at some point. The same was in 2017 and 21, but this time we don't have a retail even in Bitcoin, right? So we have now Bitcoin at all-time high, but recently I've seen statistics on stable coin loans interest rates on centralized exchanges, and they're low. So that means retail is not buying. So it's mostly about institutions buying Bitcoin, and then the question is why would they buy something else right after? Maybe they will, but maybe just few assets, right? And easily it could be about proof of work assets, right? So, as I told already, probably I heard about institutional funds in the Middle East looking for proof of work assets beyond Bitcoin, right? It was a few months ago. So, easily it could be about a certain class of assets this time, just.
Yep. What about you, QX? What do you think about this whole business?
You couldn't hear what I was saying there, Dan?
I could hear. I mean, I just thought that you were like really lip syncing. So,
I don't. I guess since you were speaking more of investing, Kushti more of market cycles, larger picture. I'll speak to the other part of it. I try not to pay attention to that stuff. I mean, sure, I go on CoinGecko and look at it once in a while, but my take on the whole measure is that there is no impact that I could have at all, or even a group of retail investors could have against the kind of money that creates these cycles and moves these cycles. You feel like it's pissing into a wave kind of thing. You're not doing a damn thing. Some people get good and they can grab a surfboard and surf the wave and make something good out of it and make some profits off it. Some lower end retail people. And that's great. But that takes up a lot of time, and I'd rather be building and encouraging and pushing the message of Ergo forward, and that matter. So I think of it as, if we build Ergo and position Ergo to be, maybe on a shoreline at an ocean of waves that keep on coming and pounding it, either we build up a structure to stop the waves from eroding the coast, or we build some structure to harness the power of the waves as well, or both at the same time. Then Ergo's positioned either way. We can survive during these downturns in the cycle because we've collected enough wave power, or we can survive, during the crazy storms because we've built enough shoring up on our structures to do that. I guess you could say is the comparison I would make. So yeah, I look at it as we have no real control over this, and either we can try to chase it and do those kind of things like a lot of the other projects do, or we can just build with resiliency in mind and profit when the people come in and the markets are high, and build like crazy when the markets are down and focus on that. So yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Boring.
That's a good
Boring.
Right. I mean,
yeah, but it's a good take.
Dependence on cycles. Yeah, I'm doing pretty much the same.
Just what QX. All right, that was really nice and everything, but what's the ticker?
The ticker? Right now, us?
Just tell me the ticker.
Of who? Oh, to buy.
QX, do you even crypto?
What's a ticker?
Are you seriously going to boomer this thing to death? Really? Come on, what's the ticker? Pump my backs, bro. Come on, what's the ticker?
RSPALM on Ergo soon.
Right. Okay, that's a good ticker. Anyway, well, I think we tickered out of time for this AMA. What do you think?
Is Andy even alive? Andy, are you there? Cushiony, I can go for a little bit more for some more questions, Dan, if you got to go. But we have no way to stop the stream if Andy's not present.
Yeah.
Oh, he's here. Perfect. All right, Andy, can you kick Dan? Cushiony and I will finish up some questions. Dan's been DMing you, Andy. Oh, sorry, he missed it. You guys can't hear Andy, but... Sure you were, Andy. All right, kick Dan. We'll finish up.
Can people actually hear Andy right now?
I don't think they can hear Andy.
Like talking to Jesus or something.
Yeah, I don't think they can hear him, Dan.
Okay, well, so we're not talking to Jesus, especially me. But anyway, all right. Well, guys, listen. These two gentle dudes are gonna stick around to answer some more questions. I have to get out of here and start another 5 a.m. day in 6 hours. So, all right. It was nice to be here. This is Dan from Japan, barely alive, but still kicking, signing off.
Bye, Dan.
And let's wrap up the MA.
We got a few more. Kushti, or did you answer these already with Dan?
Let's have one more question, maybe. And
one more. Oh, this is a tough pick, Kushti. It's going to take minutes to figure this out. All right, let's see. I wanted to comment on something in here. Let me try to find it. It was about Kraken.
And in next few days there would be more updates. So delivery season continues. So we'll have to discuss a lot next time. Also.
All right. Well, let me comment on Kraken really quick. I can't find the question, but guys, don't forget, I spoke 2 weeks ago or 2.5 weeks ago for Kraken. There we go. Rosenberg on Kraken. There's a question. I spoke a couple weeks ago for those of you that missed it. Our best path forward at the moment is to look at the proposals that Joe is putting up for Rosenbridge. There's a lot of saved up liquidity that the guards have collected. The way the system works is the guards collect their share of liquidity from the transactions, right? And it was saved up to try to fill up the staking, the slashing that guards were supposed to put in, essentially. So there's a proposal out there that Joe's putting out to the guards that says, let's take that liquidity and let's spread it out and create wallets, let's create incentives, let's create liquidity on either sides of Rosen so that we can encourage more lossless exchanges, we can get more adoption. So with that in mind, there's 4 proposals. One of them includes incentives to getting the required amount of wallets that Kraken is telling us that we should have on Cardano to get Rosenberg listed. So read those proposals. Remember, Sigmanauts are our guards, so you guys can push the Sigmanauts or join the Sigmanauts and change our decision or steer our decision. And all the guards are also posted on the Rosen website, so you can banter the crap out of those guards and have them know your opinion of what you should do. Get them to vote, get them out there, get them to discuss it in chats. But that's really our main way forward community-wise at this point. All right. Great. I said my piece, Kushti. You want to go, Kushti? You got stuff to do? You got to code sub blocks.
Yeah. So let's wrap up maybe. So it's past 1 hour already.
Alrighty. Well, thanks so much for joining, everybody. It's been a couple weeks. We missed you, but
yeah. So let's catch up the next week, right?
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Ciao, everybody.
Bye, everyone.